Good afternoon. We thank you so much for tuning in. Welcome to our lunchtime news this Tuesday, the 7th of May 2024. My name is Michael Jordan Lukomwa, and this is what we have for you this afternoon. Traders downtown Kampala have locked their shops today in a bid to continue with their strike and sending a signal in case their meeting with President Museveni this afternoon in Kololo will not meet their demands. Most traders who came to work have remained stranded as their leaders locked their arcades and shopping malls. The traders have been on strike for about... The traders have been held a strike a few weeks ago in protest of a new tax collection system, IFRIS, that they say should be given time or be revised. The leaders of the traders who are authorized to speak to media are on their way to Kololo to meet President Museveni in a meeting expected to take place this afternoon. The Chabazinga of Busoga Kingdom, that's Wilberforce Gabula Nadiope IV, has pledged to partner with Uganda Bureau of Statistics for the socio-economic transformation of their kingdom. Chabazinga was meeting a delegation of Ubos at his palace in Bugembe, Jinja City.
This is Igenga Palace, the home of the Chabazinga of Busoga Kingdom. A delegation of Uganda Bureau of Statistics is here to meet the king, seeking his influential support for the upcoming census exercise.
Our prayer is that you accept to become a census champion. Your cabinet, starting from today, the good thing is that you are now the last.
It is a race against time for the statistics body to put everything in order for the exercise due to kick off on Friday this week.
Regarding red eyes, we encourage the enumerators to wash their hands, and also when they also come to your household, you don't start giving them water like you have given me, or food, because they will not cover as many households as we want them to cover in a day. Leave them to ask you questions and they go.
After being briefed on the preparatory status for the upcoming census, the Chabazinga, who was flanked by his cabinet and local government leaders, received the U-Boss message with a promise of rallying his subjects for the upcoming census.
We are delighted and happy that as Oba Chabazinga wa Busoga, you have decided to come here officially today to give us a detailed brief about the forthcoming national census. And we've attained a lot of knowledge, we've learned a lot, and we shall pass on the same information to our people.
The Chabazinga requested for U-Boss support in the socio-economic transformation of the kingdom.
Since you are an organization which is built on capacity building and ensuring that you help various people in various sectors. So as Oba Chabazinga wa Busoga, it would be great for us to partner with you, and we do engage in various projects.
While U-Boss plans to set up a statistics unit in the kingdom, a concern was raised at this meeting on the poverty rankings of Busoga region.
And this is the question that goes to U-Boss. What parameters do they base on? To say that now this is the poorest region and this one is like this. Because when you move around, even in Busoga, you wonder. And when you go to other regions, it is a nightmare. There is a lot of poverty there than even in Busoga. So some of us, we say, no, we are not the poorest. And this is always a question that goes to U-Boss.
Chris Mukiza, the executive director, UBOS, labored to explain how they come up with these surveys.
So this is a mirror. The mirror will tell you you are like this. Mukiza, your face is round. Your nose is like this. There is something here. I cannot blame the what? The mirror. It is telling me this is it. So don't blame us. Yes, that's the reality.
Counting of people will officially kick off on Friday, 10th May this week. It will be a public holiday. This will be the first digital census in Uganda. Government released 320.3 billion shillings, of which 141.3 billion shillings was used to procure about 120,000 tablets for this exercise. Diano Olwen Peters, UBC News in Jinja City.
Uganda National Roads Authority, that's UNRA, clarified that they are only going to rectify defects on the bridge at Karuma as emergency works to aid continuity of transport as government finalizes preparations for construction of a new bridge. The head of communications, Alan Sempe, said that the repair works of Karuma Bridge are anticipated to take and be completed within 3 months.
Karuma Bridge was constructed in 1963 to aid in transportation of cotton from Masindi and Gulu, West Nile region, to Mwanza textiles in Jinja. The 61-year-old bridge has been the biggest single carriage bridge facilitating passage to West Nile, northern Uganda, and across neighboring regions.
Especially underneath the bridge structure, from the approach Gulu side of the bridge and the approach from Kampala side.
Due to overloading and depreciating lifespan, the bridge has been weakened and fewer repairs have been done to keep the bridge safe. In the emergency response, Uganda National Roads Authority closed the bridge to heavy cargo, leaving only lighter vehicles carrying low tonnage of at least 28 people to use the bridge.
We're avoiding a scenario where we have to load the bridge with heavier traffic, yet we haven't fixed that problem. So let's first fix the challenge we have posed with right now, and then we'll reinstate the traffic flow.
Inspections and diagnostic studies to ascertain the damages on the bridge, required repairs and costings are currently being done by MBW consultants before it's handed over to the contractor for commencement of repairs.
We are now in a brainstorm session together with the consultant to try and establish what exactly needs to be done.
UNRA spokesperson Alan Sempewa says repairs are only focusing on rectifying the defects on the bridge to sustain it until the new proposed bridge is complete.
We are intervening to rectify those defects so that the bridge is able to take us some more time, a few years, until we're ready with a permanent bridge crossing at that section of the highway, because we already have plans for a bigger bridge, bigger, longer and permanent bridge.
Emergency repair works are expected to be done by the local contractors yet to be identified, and work is expected to be complete within 3 months.
We have a local contractor. MBW Consulting, who has done the diagnostic survey and investigations on the bridge structure. Then we shall then pick on a contractor. Of course, we have to look at a contractor that has resources, has the capacity, and can do this job or has done it before. Trucks
will enter and exit West Nile through Gazette alternative roads.
Driving from Kampala to Gulu, while at Kafu they shall branch off to Masindi, then Maxon Falls National Park, Pakwach, Olio in Noya district, then access Gulu.
Accordingly, police has advised motorists of heavy cargo to use Kafu off to Masindi, then to Maxon Falls National Park, to Pakwach through Orio in Noya district for those heading to Gulu and coming from Kampala.
So also apply to all motorists driving from Gulu to Kampala, and these diversions are at Custom Corner on Anaka Road.
Plans and studies for the construction of the new Karuma Bridge are also underway.
We have already earmarked funds from the Japanese government. They are doing their own studies at the moment, and as soon as those studies and approvals are done, we should be able to implement a bridge at that section.
The new Karuma Bridge is expected to be funded by the Japanese government. Susan Naung and Joseph Bule reporting for UBC TV.
Women in Shema district are calling upon government to offer financial support to enable them engage in home-based projects such as agricultural, farming and things like that.
Shema district is one of those in Uganda where women are actively engaged in income-generating projects, purposely to help fend for their families. The challenge, however, is lack of funds, with the appeal to government to help them access funds at savings and credit cooperative societies rather than commercial banks, whose terms are unattainable.
I think it will be very healthy and productive if they can give us money on a subsidized rate or the percentage rate of the interest with literal interest rate.
Bugonji Savings and Credit Cooperative Society Board Chairperson Ronald Tumusimi advises government to set aside a fund purposely to help women access low-interest loans.
They can pay back. So we can give them money for longer periods than we give. And at the end of it all, they develop themselves.
And it's very safe. Except for us people maybe who take it and don't bring it in time. But the money is very safe because it has very good board. The management of Bugonji Sacco is very good. You go there for the money, you get it on that very day. They don't delay you when you apply for a loan. So we give credit.
A short break. Thank you so much for watching.
Live in concert kujahazi PM Nyonyo mo hip hop kunarubale Kurokanga 18 Mei 2024 ena fefe bosi weekend kama goma rapo na nyina freestyle jangola bomwana wakulu kutebika munganiga sasa liva muchamba misana na chidonga tuli marapu melele kukinga mtwale bidi vya mtwale tano emeza kakande emeza vya milioni 3 downloading MTN Momo hapa osaliwe kebijula 5 kubuli 10 ku tiketi woguli kwa MTN Momo tiketi gula mtwale gumo ade VIP ebili chitundu tulina de bote cruise. See you looking Itedwa musente MC MTN Momo give our establishment the angry management.
Gear up, grab your running shoes and join the race for life. Run 42, 21 or 5 kilometers to equip Kisoro Hospital's very first ICU. Then, after the finish line, groove all night at the ultimate dance showdown with DJs and performers from Uganda and Kigali. Secure your sport at virungamountainmarathon.org and be a part of history. Save the date, June 1st, 2024 at Shaza Ground, Kisoro Town. Race for a cause. Run for life.
Abanyakampara na Uganda Yuna. Nobat Events and Awesome Entertainment present Ragey live in Gaza at Lugogo Cricket Oval on 10th May 2024. Tickets are 20k ordinary and 50k VIP, 1 million gold table and 2 million platinum table. Buy your discounted tickets off the Momo app at only 10k ordinary and 25k VIP. Come represent for Ragey. It's gonna be non-stop entertainment.
UBC Lunchtime Business News. The Commerce Competition Commission, in collaboration with the Fidelis Leadership Institute, has launched a comprehensive training program focused on competition law and consumer protection. This initiative aims at enhancing the capacity of authorities in Uganda and across the region in effectively implementing and enforcing competition regulations.
Then take this opportunity to thank you for accepting and chairperson of the board for allowing your institution to be used as a vehicle for delivering this very, very important intervention for our region, for our country, for our consumers, and the future. I am particularly very, very elated to have been part of the effort to get this happening.
With the resources we've gotten now, with the oil and gas, ECOP and everything that is happening, and then the technology and advancements in technology that we're seeing in the region, we need to be prepared. If we're not prepared, we're going to be outcompeted, and we'll find that these regional markets, Vision 2040 is foreseeing, are actually not useful to the Muntu wa Wansi. So even Kasita needs to interest themselves in what competition looks like. What they were talking about competition from the outside markets, about foreigners vending things and selling things and retailing and competing in the retail market. This is a competition issue. So these are things that we need to approach from a policy perspective, but we also need to approach from a user perspective.
Competition regulation is about the conduct of that company in the market. Whether it's a monopoly or a dominant firm, it is the conduct. Now, what does the conduct mean? It's two-way. The conduct could affect consumers, or the conduct could affect suppliers. Okay. A dominant firm begins to abuse the law when they conduct themselves in a manner that, number one, forecloses the market so that others do not get in, ideally reducing the opportunities for entry into that market sector, or in a manner that affects consumers either in price escalation, and this usually will happen when a company that is dominant buys out smaller firms. Sometimes they start by dropping prices so low that the smaller firms can't compete and they get out of the market. When they have gotten out of the market, then the dominant firm starts to increase prices because there is no more competition that can deal with that kind of conduct. So the competition law comes into place to enable the regulator to intervene when such a conduct is happening. Before it happens, usually, through market inquiries, but after it happens, if it has occurred.
News beyond Ugandan borders. Zimbabwe's parliament has started nationwide consultations after the cabinet in February agreed to abolish the death penalty to conform to international standards. Death penalty is an old corporal punishment that has been outlawed in many countries. We have a story from some public hearings in Zimbabwe about this.
Bindura, Zimbabwe, a crime-riddled mining town about 100 kilometers from the capital Harare and the site of a recent public hearing on the death penalty. Zimbabwe's parliament hopes citizens will support the bill abolishing the death penalty for crimes such as aggravated murder and treason. Energy Mutodi heads the parliament's Justice Committee, which is leading the hearings.
The people have spoken. They are coming up with different views. Some are for the idea that the death penalty must be removed. Some are saying it must remain in the Constitution as a deterrent measure.
Those against the death penalty, like Tinei Mashone, say the punishment is too harsh and archaic.
If you look at our Constitution, it protects women from the death sentence. But we are pushing for equality. That is the basis of constitutionalism and democracy. But there is a bias there. So I am in support of the new bill. It should pass so that we can correct people. We cannot solve violence with violence.
Amnesty International says it hopes Zimbabweans support the proposed law to end the death sentence.
Once it's done, and if someone is wrongly accused, then we cannot then take that life back. Two, we are saying this law is something that is a colonial relic that came with the white colonialists, and they were using the death penalty to oppress the black majority. So we are saying, why are we still inheriting something that was being used against us as the black majority?
Some participants at the hearing said they are seeing people who killed their relatives walking scot-free. Some Zimbabweans called for imposing the death sentence on rapists and those who commit violent crimes like robbery.
I disagree. Nekuti I disagree, because some are pardoned after serving 5 years and released. Right now, I see the person who killed my brother walking freely. What should I do? If there is no hangman, you can hire me.
The last execution in Zimbabwe took place in 2005, and death penalty opponent President Emmerson Mnangagwa last month commuted the death row sentences for some prisoners to that of life imprisonment. Columbus Mavunga, VOA News, Bindura, Zimbabwe.
Reports of possible progress on a ceasefire deal between Israel and Hamas are happening against the backdrop of Israel's plan for a military incursion into the southern Gaza city of Rafah. In Washington, President Joe Biden launched with Jordan's king and spoke to Israel's leader by phone in an apparent effort to soothe tensions.
Tension in Rafah after Israel signaled its intention, over Washington's objections, to launch a ground assault on the packed town at Gaza's southern point. And tension in Washington amid reports that Israel and Hamas were close to a ceasefire deal Monday. Jordan's king lunched privately Monday with U.S. President Joe Biden, and the administration said Gaza was discussed. Biden also called Israel's leader by phone Monday morning. The White House said its wishes are clear.
We want to get these hostages out. We want to get a ceasefire in place for 6 weeks. We want to increase humanitarian assistance. And the last thing that I want to do is say anything at this podium that's going to put that process at risk.
In Gaza, residents celebrated at Monday's news that Hamas had accepted an Egyptian-Qatari ceasefire proposal. The State Department was more skeptical about whether a deal had, in fact, been reached.
A ceasefire is absolutely achievable. There has been a deal on the table, a proposal on the table that would achieve an immediate ceasefire and the release of hostages. Now, as for Hamas's response, which I think gets to your question, again, I don't want to characterize it in any sort of detail until we've had a chance to review it in depth and talk with our partners in the region about it.
Meanwhile, Israel's military has told Rafah residents to evacuate ahead of a ground operation.
We examine every answer and reply very seriously and find every possibility regarding the negotiations for the return of the hostages to their homes as a central task as quickly as possible. And at the same time, we continue our operations in the Gaza Strip and will continue to do so.
The United Nations expressed concerns over an incursion into Rafah.
Any escalation of hostilities resulting from a full-scale incursion into Rafah will push residents and displace people currently living there past their breaking point.
And the White House expressed concerns about civilians after what appeared to be aerial strikes there on Monday.
It doesn't matter whether it's missiles or rockets, things that kill innocent people, that's not okay. And again, the president made it clear that we don't want to see operations in Rafah that put at risk those 1.5 million people that are there.
It's those people who today are caught in the middle of all this. In the power
St. Julian's Seta clinched the championship title of the 2024 USSSA Games after humbling 10-man Amherst College School in a 3-0 victory at Mpungu Arena in Masaka on Sunday evening. The one-sided final saw James Sekate with a brace and Simon Wanyama scoring the goals for St. Julian on their first attempt for the title. Amherst tried to respond, but St. Julian was well organized at the back, holding on to their lead until the end. To reach the finals, St. Julian eliminated Bukedia Comprehensive Secondary School on penalties, while Amherst College knocked out holders St. Mary's Chitende. Other tournament winners were Isma Magala, Blessed Sacrament Chimanya as MVP, Hakim Masaba, Amherst College top scorer with 11 goals, and Dennis Mugera of St. Mary's Chitende, best goalkeeper. This is St. Julian High School Setta's first national secondary schools football trophy. 2023 holders St. Mary's Chitende beat Bukedia Comprehensive School 1-0 to take third place.
First blood against Amherst College.
That this is one of the areas we are trying to address
under the lower secondary curriculum. So you seem to be implementing it well. And I confirm our sports has taken another level. What we need to fight for is the last prayer you made. Give us more funds. That would be.
But now, with the introduction of the law, which makes using non-qualified players criminal, we have gone a further step because it is a tool. We want to thank you for the support when we are making that law and that the law is now out.
Inform you that our teams are next week going to represent Uganda, 5 teams in the World Cup for schools, in what we call ISF Football World Cup.
We thank you so much for watching. That is all we had for you this afternoon. But of course, we are at Workers Newsroom. We'll have more bulletins for you in Luganda, Kiswahili, and I'll be here myself for news tonight. So you have all the reasons to keep it with us. Bye-bye. Good afternoon.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Juko. Yo. Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Haven't you heard of the parish development model, PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, Shema, it is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a poultry project, and now things are moving.
Juko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The parish development model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to